MTL World at Mittel World 1 YouTube channel. Swallowed Star 2, Origin Continent. Volume 7, 9 Rivers Holy Realm. Chapter 301 Luo Feng vs. Elder Tianhe. 29th of Volume 7. Luo Feng and Elder Tianhe stood facing each other from a distance. Meanwhile, the Wuxia God Emperor quietly retreated back to the city, and beside him, Di Qing also withdrew, steering the Taishu Dark Eye ship into the city. Elder Tianhe, however, did not attempt to stop them. His sole target was Luo Feng. Elder Tianhe. Luo Feng's gaze remained steady as he addressed the elder. Elder Tianhe was dressed in flowing white robes, his appearance refined, his skin glowing like translucent crystal, and a faint, ethereal radiance surrounding him. His aura was calm and unassuming. I thought some high-ranking elder wanted to challenge me. Elder Tianhe let out a soft chuckle. Only now did I realize that he is just a junior who has recently made a breakthrough in his cultivation. Is this the confidence that emboldens you to act so disrespectfully? Luo Feng raised an eyebrow. Why should I give you any face? Are you one of the 3 palace masters? Or the leader of the Guifang? His voice remained steady. At this moment, near the eastern city gate of Yulan City, guards stood vigilant. Among them were members of the Guifang, as well as many practitioners who had gathered to witness the confrontation. More and more practitioners were arriving. An elder-level confrontation. They're about to fight right outside the East City Gate. The news spread quickly, drawing many excited practitioners eager to spectate. Clashes between elder-level beings in Yulan City are rare, and getting the chance to witness even one confrontation is a valuable opportunity. One of them is Elder Tianhe, one of the 8 deputy masters of the Guifang, someone murmured. Anyone who can hold such a position is undeniably powerful, another responded. On the other hand, there's Luo Feng, an unknown god emperor who recently managed to counter a Guifang raiding team. He must be a newly promoted elder-level figure. Exactly. Elder Tianhe has accumulated an immense depth of power, while Luo Feng's foundation is still shallow, various spectators discussed through sound transmissions. Within Yulan City's protective formations, they remained safe from the battle's potential aftermath, allowing them to watch comfortably. Outside the East City Gate, only Luo Feng and Elder Tianhe stood their ground. No other practitioners dared to step beyond the city's protective barrier. A newly promoted elder, yet so full of confidence, Elder Tianhe observed, unfazed. I assume you've acquired some powerful secret treasure. Is that why you're feeling so confident of yourself? Luo Feng's sharp gaze studied his opponent. You're too young and inexperienced, Elder Tianhe said, shaking his head slightly. If you were to step into the dark holy realm, he let his words hang in the air. You would quickly realize that your so-called fortune is insignificant in the dark holy realm. That place gathers the strongest practitioners from countless worlds, many of whom possess extraordinary talent. Some have even claimed treasures worth over 100,000 reward points from the infinite space treasury. The Dark Holy Realm is home to countless formidable beings, Elder Tianhe continued. But tell me, Elder Tianhe, Luo Feng countered, what are your presents in the Dark Holy Realm amount to? Elder Tianhe simply smiled. I've spent a long time in that realm, and I've made some progress. While I may not be the strongest there, I certainly have the ability to teach you a lesson or two. Luo Feng's expression remained unchanged. Go ahead, show me everything you've got. At his words, Elder Tianhe casually raised a single finger. A small point of light flickered at its tip, rapidly expanding. In the blink of an eye, the radiance extended across billions of kilometers, forming an enormous formation that enveloped the battlefield. Within the formation, numerous illusory gray birds began to materialize one after another. Luo Feng remained unfazed. He had already investigated Elder Tianhe beforehand, understanding his vast experience and diverse techniques. Formation mastery. This is one of Elder Tianhe's strongest skills. Elder Tianhe had honed his ability to craft intricate formation diagrams and forge Dao soldiers with unparalleled expertise. Standing his ground, Luo Feng let the endless sea of blood beneath him surge violently. Within him, the Azure Heaven Destruction Formation diagram activated, resonating with the blood sea. Naturally, the boundless sea of blood began to shape itself into a formation of its own. Accompanied by piercing shrieks, countless illusory gray figures soared through the void, charging toward Luo Feng and the boundless sea of blood beneath him. Whoosh! Each spectral gray streak shot forth like a sword, slicing through the surging blood waves, only to be ultimately consumed and obliterated by the encroaching tide. This technique of yours is quite intriguing, Elder Tianhe remarked with a smile. Your physical resilience rivals that of a late-stage God Emperor level Xuanhuan life form. As he spoke, the power of the formation gathered and condensed into a colossal gray entity, which then flew away. This enormous spectral bird emanated a fearsome aura, and Luo Feng could sense an undeniable threat. Yao! A shrill cry tore through the sky. The massive gray bird moved with astonishing speed, lunging toward Luo Feng with deadly precision. Azure heaven and earth as one. The formation instantly condensed into a beam of life and death, hurtling toward the spectral bird. The piercing energy tore through its form, distorting and rendering it almost illusory. Is this all you've got? Luo Feng stood his ground. Elder Tianhe, where are your Dao soldiers? Where is your close combat technique? Show me everything you have. A Dao soldier condensed from pure energy is indeed a little weak, Elder Tianhe mused. Fortunately, I brought hundreds of refined Dao soldiers with me today. How about testing them? With a wave of his hand, wooden bird carvings shot into the air. As they took flight, they rapidly expanded, each transforming into a formidable warrior akin to the previous massive spectral flying bird. Hundreds of Dao soldiers. Luo Feng's expression grew serious. Even from a distance, he could sense the power radiating from these wooden constructs. Though somewhat stiff in movement, they carried the strength of late-stage God Emperor Xuanhuan practitioners. But combined, the sheer scale made them overwhelmingly terrifying. Boom. Boom. Rumble. Hundreds of Dao soldiers surged forward in perfect formation, their coordinated might forming a powerful battle array. Luo Feng's instincts flared. Something felt off. They're stronger than expected. He realized. As the tide of flying creatures closed in, their numbers resembling a horde of low-level Xuanhuan lifeforms, Luo Feng acted instantly. At the first opportunity, he unleashed the immortal heart. From the core of the immortal heart, countless energy veins branched out, rapidly spreading throughout the boundless sea of blood. Luo Feng had a clear premonition without relying on the immortal heart, his undying blood sea body would undoubtedly suffer severe damage under the relentless attacks of the hundreds of Dao soldiers. My energy reserves barely exceed 200 of a perfect divine body reserves. I can't afford to waste them recklessly. Boom. The sky trembled as hundreds of massive flying warriors, perfectly coordinated in formation, advanced with overwhelming momentum, their combined power sending shivers through the onlooking practitioners of Yulan City. Suddenly, an immense wave of blood surged upward hundreds of millions of kilometers high. The towering blood-red tide stood like a mountain, blocking the incoming creatures. Yet, the bird creature soldiers did not falter. With relentless momentum, they tore through the blood waves, breaking apart the endless sea in an instant. But their force was waning. The undying blood sea body, empowered by the immortal heart, only enhances my overall strength by a few times. But in terms of defense, it increases by dozens of times. Luo Feng analyzed. Even a full-force stomp from the Xuanhuan Wangti leader only consumes 2% of my energy reserves. These Dao soldiers' attacks won't harm me at all. Against the Xuanhuan Wangti leader, Luo Feng would never dare to call himself undying, but against these Dao soldiers. Boom. The battle erupted in full force. Under the command of their formation, the Dao soldiers moved in distinct battle patterns, some charging like thunder, others converging into a blade, while others merged into a massive battle axe. Their combined might was undeniably terrifying. How is this possible? Elder Tianhe frowned. Even after unleashing his Dao soldiers, he had failed to force Luo Feng to reveal his trump card, the super giant claw. He remembered clearly. Luo Feng had crushed Wuxia with a single attack from an enormous, furry claw. He's still holding back, even against my Dao soldier formation. Elder Tianhe found it difficult to believe. The Dao soldier formation was his regular strategy. Typically, he didn't bother with direct combat, he simply released his Dao soldiers and let them handle his opponents. Crack. With the immortal heart's reinforcement, the power of the Azure Heaven destruction formation surged dramatically. The boundless sea of blood roared, drowning everything in its path. One by one, the wooden bird constructs began to shatter. These Dao soldiers, personally crafted, refined, and integrated into the formation by Elder Tianhe, were now crumbling under the relentless attacks. More and more practitioners gathered in Yulan City to witness the unfolding battle, their expressions filled with awe. Among them were members of various powerful factions, each carefully observing, their gazes locked onto Luo Feng and Elder Tianhe. Elder Tianhe's army of Dao soldiers fought in perfect formation, yet they were still struggling to gain the upper hand. Is Luo Feng really this powerful? Even at the level of a newly advanced elder, his strength is astonishing. The spectators were in shock. Old Master Tianhe might have to bring out his true power now. It seems like this battle is about to get serious. The crowd grew more excited, eagerly anticipating what would happen next. Elder Tianhe stood still, calmly making a simple gesture. Instantly, the hundreds of Dao soldiers retreated and flew back toward him, disappearing with a flick of his hand. No wonder you're so confident. Elder Tianhe chuckled. You managed to withstand my Dao soldier formation with ease. I underestimated you. Luo Feng met his gaze, fully aware that in order to protect his undying blood sea body from excessive damage against the Great Formation, he had already activated his immortal heart. For countless years, my cultivation path has revolved around formations, using them to forge Dao soldiers, Elder Tianhe sighed. These Dao soldiers have been my greatest support, helping me rise from weakness to power over the ages. Yet, despite reaching the late stage of the God Emperor realm, I've hit an insurmountable barrier, unable to achieve true perfection. It was only after years of struggle that he realized somewhere along the way, he had taken the wrong path. Elder Tianhe's eyes locked onto Luo Feng. In the Dark Holy Realm, I studied the inheritances of numerous experts, learning and absorbing the essence of at least 100 different cultivation techniques. But despite mastering so many methods, I was never able to reach perfection. He let out a self-deprecating laugh. In truth, the Xuanhuan bloodline path that I later pursued is actually a complete and fully established path. It is also the simplest route. As soon as he finished speaking, Elder Tianhe stopped holding back. His terrifying aura exploded outward, shaking the entire battlefield. Silvery secret patterns began emerging across his skin, radiating immense power. Xuanhuan bloodline. A semi-Xuanhuan level. Luo Feng's expression hardened. He understood that once someone practiced multiple bloodline paths, the will of those bloodlines would inevitably influence their own consciousness. The insights contained within the bloodlines would mix with their personal comprehension of the Dao. This kind of fusion was known as Dao pollution. That was why once a practitioner of the enlightenment path fused with a Xuanhuan bloodline, it became nearly impossible for them to progress further through enlightenment alone. From that point onward, their future cultivation would be tied entirely to the bloodline path. I spent my military merits in the Dark Holy Realm to obtain a high-level Xuanhuan lifeform's bloodline, Elder Tianhe said, his gaze unwavering. By fusing it into my body, I laid the foundation for my bloodline cultivation. I then developed its potential, perfecting the Eternal Night Netherhawk physique. And for this bloodline body, I even created a specialized battle technique, the Eternal Night Battle Technique. Elder Tianhe stood there, his silver-gray aura surging like a storm, its terrifying presence stretching across the heavens. A formless will radiated from him, pressing down upon the battlefield. Luo Feng could feel it, an invincible will pressing down upon him. The battle had only just begun. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe. MTL World at Mittel World 1 YouTube channel.